Let's start off with the wackadoo bullshit that's happening in Buffalo.
Okay.
Have you heard this? Have you seen about this?
Not really.
So, after a loss not too long ago, like this past week, because the Sabres are terrible. Like, remember that everyone like
They were
amazing.
good in December when I saw them play.
Yes, it's amazing what happens when you don't have a goaltender.
Mm,
Shocking how that works. I'm trying to find the article.
Maple Leaf should be able to figure that out soon.
Right? Michael Hutchinson, everybody. Damn it, where'd it go? Oh, here we go. So there's a fan that called into the post-game show on WGR. Shoop and the Bulldog.
Okay.
So apparently, the guy who went out there, he called a guy named Dwayne. He took the Sabres organization and Terry Pegula to task during a diatribe, calling out the team for its in-game ineptitude, but also cited a series of off-ice missteps, including involving the club's legends during its 50th season. Okay, fair enough.
All right.
When you think about the Buffalo, you don't hear a lot about Buffalo being very in tune with their alumni, even though they have a very prestigious amount of alumni. You don't see, a lot of people out there. All this stuff,
especially being their 50th season.
Right. He said. So apparently, Danny Gare, who was one of the captain for the team, was forced to wear an unlicensed jersey as a fundraising event because they didn't have like a proper jersey for him. Whereas a fundraising event. During that, the team didn't give Dave Andreychuk or Mike Robitaille jerseys with their last name spelled properly.
Okay.
That's a bit of a disconnect.
I mean, you can Google it now, right?
Yeah.
I think that was just hastily done.
Sure.
That's just shoddy work.
That's just shoddy workmanship there. This Dwayne fella said, I don't need a Jerry Jones type owner. I need an owner who's going to answer the fans when they misspell names on jerseys and have Chinese knockoffs on alumni.
Wow.
What's going on? What are we doing? I don't need a damn camera in front of Terry Pegula every single day, but address our concerns. Be there when you screw up. Answer for the mistakes. Be accountable. And
I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong at all, because when you look at when Terry Pegula bought this team, like it was all such a big thing. He's gonna be such a leader. He's gonna be a hands-on guy. Like old Mark Cuban, I think, was thrown around by me, and no one else. But I mean, ever since like he bought Buffalo, because he owns the Bills too, it seems like he couldn't give a shit about the city anymore. I don't know if you've noticed at all that in this whole situation, but it's like he has become an absentee owner. He built Penn State a rink, and then there you go.
It feels like he's more into Penn State.
Yeah. Well, because he doesn't have to pay them.
Maybe that's
I think that helps too.
Yeah, it does. It does. That helps.
But I mean, that's the off the ice stuff where fans are getting fed up during the 50th season when it's supposed to be a celebration. They ain't doing shit. And then Sam Reinhart starts to call out people. Saying the system and the game plans are set out to give us an opportunity to succeed. Guys need to demand more of themselves, and a lot of guys need to step the hell up. He also said, we didn't play good enough. We didn't work hard enough. Oh, Rasmus Ristolainen then said, we didn't play good enough. We didn't work hard enough. Today was shit.
Actually, that I think that I'm going to re-listen to the show and that part, and then I'm going to have that like embroidered and put near the front door. So when I walk in after work, I'll just be like, oh, yep, today was shit.
Jason Botterill said, to put it bluntly, my conversations with Terry and Kim Pegula, they're frustrated with the results. They want better results. No one wants to be in Buffalo, man. That's the problem.
Yeah, how?
Yeah. Jack Eichel is going to walk out that door. Like, is there, we talked last year about Connor McDavid wanting out of Edmonton. I think we have to tip that metronome. No, metronomes go back and forth, but we got to tip the scales to Jack Eichel.
I like
Buffalo.
metronomes.
Metronomes are nice. They go back and forth. It's great. Keep time.
Yeah.
which is good because I don't wear a watch. The Jack Eichel leaving Buffalo, I think, is a very, and we should ask Lyle about this. This is a very serious situation, I think.
It could happen, yeah.
Yeah, because Buffalo right now is just the half of the city that's the post-apocalyptic wasteland. That's becoming the Sabres right now.
Well, so the Sabres that I grew up with was Dominic Hasek, and then there were some other really good players as well. But Dominic Hasek was the star. Now it's becoming Jack Eichel and some other okay players, and and that's all that it is again. Like the team hasn't progressed at all. It's like the same team that was in the 90s.
Right. It's Jack Eichel. It's Jack Eichel and the quadruple A players.
Well, Mojo is there.
Mojo Raleigh?
Yes.
Oh. Wow. Just all these headline on the story I'm seeing. Buffalo Sabres problem run from top to bottom in 2019-20. Woof. That's not great. It's not great at all.
They were doing really well in the beginning of the season. They were in first place. And then they came to Washington, and they lost, and they've been crap since.
Jack Eichel vows wheels won't fall off Buffalo Sabres. Well, bad news for you, Jack. Hate to break it to you. And it's
especially coming from a guy with high ankle sprain issues.
Right? Buffalo Rick Nash over there. What is his? They have the as it stands right now. They have the third highest cap hit. All their money accounted for.
Jeez.
They got 4 guys on injured reserve, 2 guys on long-term injured reserve. Jesus, when's Eichel's? Oh yeah, Eichel signed through God knows when. Eichel signed $10 million all the way through.
That's good.
At least he'll get paid. But here's something.
But he won't be able to go to the Olympics.
Right. But here's the thing, and this is just me. There is no term on his contract. He has no move clause, no trade clause.
Oh, I was like, they just made it a contract indefinitely?
Right? That'd be great.
Sabre for life.
Sabre for life.
$10 million a year, Sabre for life.
So he can be moved at a drop of the hat. Will it happen? Probably not. But
I mean, not willingly.
Yeah.
The team won't willingly trade him, but at what point does a player finally get fed up and just be like, screw it, I'm out?
Let's wait till the summer. Because I think this is going to be a point of contention going forward with the Sabres. At what point does Jack Eichel get fed up and said, not even this captaincy will save me? Go fuck yourselves.
Mark is here 3 minutes early.
What's up?
Hey, we're talking about the shitty Buffalo Sabres. How are you, sir?
What's different than normal?
Fans ranting about how the alumni at fundraising events are wearing Chinese knockoff jerseys and their last names are not being spelled right.
That's incredible. I mean, that's truly amazing.
Yeah, the Buffalo Sabres couldn't spell Dave Andrewchuk's name right, even though he played a lot of games for them.
Let's be honest. This is a tough name to spell.
If only we had a machine that could tell us.
Yeah. I mean, if they would have gotten Miroslav Shatan's name wrong, then I would have been worried.
Right, sir.
He wasn't there.
No.
So only at Manhattan parties.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. Who does that?
Yeah. Right? And then we were talking about how the fan was ranting on radio, and then how Jack Eichel doesn't have any kind of no movement clause on his contract, so he might demand out sooner rather than later.
Can you put no movement clauses on rookie contracts? I thought he was still on a rookie contract.
Nope, he is in his first year of his big contract, $10 million a year for the next.
He's not on a rookie contract anymore.
It feels like that kid just came into the league.
Like 5 years
like
ago.
21 now.
I know. Wasn't he? He was behind McDavid, right? He was McDavid and Eichel.
Yeah. He's 23, and this is his second year of his contract.
Finkel and Einhorn.
And he starting 2022 and 2023. Nice. 2022, 2023, no movement clause goes into effect. So we got
Oh,
Another
no.
2 summers before the Sabres are like, fuck it. We ain't
Oh,
gonna have anybody.
man.
Somebody want Jack Eichel?
Wait and
Lyle got a top 10 list, everybody. Lyle put out a top 10 list from the home office in Muskegon, Wisconsin. Top 10. Hey, Johnny, we got any trade deadline music there?
Hold on, I got
think,
some top 10 music,
We got some top
definitely.
10 trade deadline music there.
Yeah, top 10
You got you got any gum?
music. Top 10.
From the home office in Flin Flon, Manitoba. Lyle's top 10 list. Now I'm pissed off, Lyle, about this list.
How are you?
You know
It's better
why?
than being pissed on.
That's right.
Why?
It's missing something.
Oh.
No, not that.
Sorry.
No, you got
Sorry.
not that.
Love it.
I
Love
jumped the
it.
gun.
Great timing.
Ah, that was good.
Perfect timing, but not that. Lyle, it's missing just one big thing.
Uh-huh.
Slideshow! It's missing a slideshow, Lyle.
I'm sorry, guys. I had to pack up my carousel. That was part of the arrangement when
photo carousel?
when Bleacher Report showed me the door. I had to leave the carousel behind. So
Mm.
sorry.
Did you get to keep any of the horses?
No. No, I did not.
Kirby theme song?
Anyway, no slideshows with sporting news.
No,
No
just
slideshows.
good old top 10.
Straightforward top 10 coming at you.
Starting.
And not in reverse order.
I'm gonna say Lyle just goes right from the top down.
Yes.
I'm like, wow,
That's
just
something,
no
man.
build, just straight to the point.
No, trying to shake things up. Last year I did it the other way around.
What
This
you
year
should do is just
like,
do it in out of order.
Yeah.
Put like
Next
the
year-
first
number
one being
five.
number
Next
7.
You're out
next-
of order.
No. Next year, alphabetically by position.
The defense
Huh?
first.
Huh? Mhm.
Number 7.
Yeah, exactly. Wait a minute. Lyle, of course, says Chris Kreider, census number 1 overall.
Of course he is.
Then a bunch of Kings with Alec Martinez and Tyler Toffolo. We talked about there. Sammy Vatanen,
Mhm.
someone we haven't necessarily mentioned too much on this side.
And supposedly he's garnering lots of interest. So
He should.
as he should. Yeah, deserves it.
He seems older than he is, actually. I'm
And he's
not gonna
only
lie.
20. And he's only 27, I think.
Yeah,
26, 27. He's not that old. You know?
it's a lot of
just-
things.
He's been in the league since he was 18. He's been in a long time. That's the thing when these guys join the league at 18 and they stay, that long. Figure it's been a long time being in ye old NHL.
It's been,
Been
a
a
long.
while.
Been a while. It's time for-
Wow.
on here and bump my- Good thing this is not- because that will be copyrighted infringed because it's too good.
Yeah.
Too close to the original.
Too close. Yep. We're not going to be able to put that on the YouTube.
Yeah.
We will put everything leading up to the top 10 list, but not the actual top 10.
Not
Do
the
the
actual-
whole bit there, and
And
then,
then just, those
And then we'll
dead-
say the link is in the details or in the description below.
yeah, exactly.
That's how you do it, right?
That's how you do it.
I
Yeah.
actually did put link to the Patreon page and stuff, and at the end card and in the description because fuck you, I want money.
There you go.
Johnny, do you read a lot of Mr. Greg Wyshynski stuff?
I read some stuff.
I read some stuff as well. And one thing that really caught my eye this week is something that he put out there in terms of just the rise and growth of USA hockey
I did not
things
read
of
this.
that and hockey hotbeds.
Okay.
So every year USA Hockey puts out like a study and says these are the places on the rise. They put out the numbers of registered players and stuff like that. So Greg put out a thing and kind of dissected some of the stuff that is the areas that are growing, the areas that are slowing down, and the areas that are staying put, and other stuff. So areas that are heating up. Would you like to take a gander of its top 5 areas of heating up?
Arizona.
Sadly, no.
Oh.
Actually, kind of staying true.
Oh well.
Take another guess.
Florida.
Nope. 3-strike rule. Jeez.
I suck at this game.
Not doing great.
Chicago.
Nope. That's all right. Well,
I didn't read this at all. The only thing that I
know.
read,
Well, you're showing it.
I read a lot of his the retweets of people, so I know where like the best place is because I got a lot of those cake eater retweets. But
Gotcha.
the best one so far was the guy that was really pissed off that Pittsburgh wasn't on the list, and Greg, it's some stupid shit Penguins fan, and Greg was basically like, yeah, everybody realizes that Pittsburgh is a good hockey town. However, it didn't meet any of the other criteria we had in this.
In fact, people are moving out of there. All right, so the hockey hotbeds are heating up. Number 5, Seattle.
Oh wow!
People getting interested
before
in
the
that.
Kraken even.
Yeah.
Oh.
The major junior team they cite the Thunderbirds. The 2018-19 2,802 youth players ranked the market ahead at least ranked the market ahead of at least 4 current NHL markets.
Wow.
That's pretty good. And just imagine what's going to happen when the Kraken get in there.
Yeah.
Number 4, Nashville. Nashville, a part of the rising star hotbeds. 36.6% increase in total participation from 2014 to 2019.
That's great.
Players aged 15 to 18 increased for 6 straight years, and 8 and under players pool declined at the end of last year. But with a new arena opening in October, more numbers are expected to jump. There's going to be more facilities, which is going to cause more numbers to jump, which is really awesome.
It's like the second rig at Piney.
Exactly. Speaking of that, number 3.
Crofton, Maryland.
Washington, D.C., which encompasses 50-mile radius, Greg told me. So that includes Baltimore, and that includes like down to Falls Church.
Oh, so that does include Crofton.
It does include Crofton. So the Black Bears are part of this. Anne Arundel County is part of this. MoCo, PG, all that fun stuff.
Nice.
So the Greg says that the Washington thing is remaining hot rather than heating up. The region much needed localized from 2014 to 19 cap saw 18.5 increase in local participation to 22,144. Boys and girls youth hockey has grown steadily at an increase over that span, and adult participation increased 8.7 in 2018-19.
I mean, there are people like Mark playing hockey again.
Exactly. We'll get to his story here in a bit when he shows up. Number 2, Anaheim.
Wow.
Anaheim with a $108 million, $280,000 square foot practice facility opened in January of last year. Made solid growth from 14 to 19. Total participation grew 27.4%.
It's a lot. It's
Youth
probably because that new Mighty Ducks movie's coming out.
I know, right? The TV series are ready. From 2016 to 19, youth participation was up 18%. The market would have ranked higher if not for the downward attendance trends for the Ducks in the past 3 seasons and the lack of any Division I programs nearby. But local level, they said it's good. And the number 1, Las Vegas, baby.
I should have thought of Las Vegas.
Past 5 years, participation is up a whopping 86.4%. From 2016 to 19, total youth hockey participation is up 60%, and 8 and under participation is up 125%.
How many actual people are there that live around Las Vegas?
Total number of players, though, total number of overall players is 2,255. And that's total players, coaches, and officials. So.
Wow.
Everyone involved, but now with the AHL team moving there, that's going to bump it up a little more. And obviously, with success of the Vegas Golden Knights and the footprint that they're putting on the town, I think those numbers are going to increase.
They're still playing well.
They are. And Matt Paxaretti, who's been there, he came from Montreal, so he sees a lot of people coming up in the area. So big bump for him. hotbeds that are cooling down. Want to take a 3-strike guess at this?
Los Angeles.
No. Circle.
Let's see. New York.
Ooh, no.
Oh, very close though.
Yeah.
A hotbed cooling down. I'm gonna go with Maine.
Sorry. Number 5, Boston.
Oh, in between New York and Maine.
Yeah, exactly. Total participation down 2.8%, and boys youth hockey is down 1.5%, but girls hockey is up 4.6%.
That's good.
And a lot of people are saying with junior hockey being more prevalent, like the USHL and the NAHL, it's taking away from prep players and high school players in Massachusetts. So, number 4, Philly.
Oh, wow.
Average attendance has declined. Local participation is down over a 3-year span.
That's because Gritty's punching people.
Exactly. 8 and under participation declined 5%. 9 to 14 year old players by 2.4% as well.
Nice.
Number 3, Chicago.
Oh, I got Chicago on my other list.
Yeah. They're seeing some erosion since the Blackhawks are kind of at a downturn. Participation down 2.6% in the last 3 years, including a 11.6 decline in adult male players. So, because they're getting called up to be backup goalies, and that's what's happening.
That's true.
And 8 and under participation was down almost 20% last season alone.
Uh,
Number 2, Detroit. Market suffered a 4.2% decline in total community participation in 5 years. Escalated decline of 4.5 in the last 3 years. And then a 9 to 14 age group shrank 4.3% last year alone.
So can I?
Hello, Mike.
Hey, hi guys.
How are
So
you?
I got a question. I came
Yes,
in
sir.
on the back end of this thing. Obviously, I don't know where you're coming from. These are stats, so
just
I'm
throwing
gonna go
numbers out here.
purely based on the stats. So is the intention of I don't know. Did this come from an article?
This
Yes.
is from Greg's article about USA Hockey's numbers that came out about participation across
Okay.
the 50 states.
So is the tone of this article such that they think hockey is down because the product on the ice in the NHL is not as good, or kids are watching other sports, or now hear me out, ice time is fucking expensive.
Could be a little column A, a little column B. And it looks like in Detroit's thing, that's the expensive part is because of that.
well, didn't you just play? What is that? A victory beer?
Java latte.
Victory Java latte, cold
sound-
brew milk
That
stuff.
sounds aggressive.
I'm not a huge fan of the whole latte part, but I'm gonna try it.
Did how much
Limited
did
can release?
how much did you just pay for an hour of hockey?
So because I was a sub goalie and it was my first time on this team, it was $0. But the sub
You had
fee.
to pay for USA's.
USA Hockey was $45,
Oh, okay.
and
So $45 for an hour.
and I had to pay an extra like $30 to get my skate sharpened, get new laces,
Maintenance.
and yeah, stuff that just needed to be done to my gear because I haven't touched it in 5 years. Get it?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Ladies.
ladies.
That's what happens when you get married and have a kid.
That's right. And yeah, so and then it would have been a $35 sub fee.
Wow.
Yeah, because for 19
for
or 20
one
for
game?
19 or 20 games, it's now $3,000 at least in Prince William
Damn.
County, Virginia.
And yet Washington, part of the market's on a rise, and that's probably why, because they're making money like that.
$3,000 to play
$3,000.
how many
Fucking
games?
absurd.
20 games plus playoffs. So I think you're guaranteed 21 games.
I paid $75 to play in an outdoor soccer league.
Right. Well, when Scotty and I first started playing when we were in college, well, adult league, when I first started playing, it was like $600 for 26 games.
So
and
you're paying
they were 3-game playoff series.
$142 a game. $142.86.
That can't be right.
3,000 divided by 21.
Well, maybe that. No, that doesn't sound right. That can't be right.
Do the math.
I mean, the math checks out, but that can't be right.
What
Then the
Mark's
dude must
saying
have
is
been
the
lying.
numbers might not have been right.
Yeah, the dude must have been lying to me.
Maybe it's 3,000 for the team.
Maybe there's more money. I mean,
No,
maybe
it's got to be more than that for the team.
This is insane to me.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Detroit definitely economical region. Number one hotbed on decline, Buffalo.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
So decline in three, and that has a lot to do with product on the ice as well. But facilities are around. Canisius and Niagara are around in the area. The Sabres are god awful. So there you go. Centers of the hockey universe, though, in the U.S. Top 5. Who wants to guess? Johnny?
I already know the top one.
Okay. What is it? Oh, yeah, you do know. Mark, do you want to jump in?
No.
Top 5?
I don't care. No. Top 5. I'm gonna go with Boston.
Okay.
Oh, you want to name all 5?
Oh, yeah. No, that's number 2. You are correct in that one.
Okay. Colorado.
No, not in there.
Really?
Nope.
Really?
I'm very surprised too.
Really?
Because they do have a lot of colleges around that area too.
Yeah, there are a lot of colleges around Colorado.
And number 1's definitely Minnesota.
Minneapolis, St. Paul, yes sir.
Yep.
Well, Edina being the chief among them. Edina, Minnesota, being the center of the hockey universe.
Edina.
Edina.
That's how somebody from Boston talks about going to the diner. Double
Nice
T.
Good one. One in St. Paul, 2 Boston. Even though in decline, 3 Detroit.
Wow.
Even with declining numbers, the participation in the sport is 6th amongst NHL markets.
Well, they also have the Little Caesars team up there.
Hockey.
Yeah.
And they also have Michigan and Michigan State in the area.
That makes sense.
Where's
Michigan Tech? Is that higher? I think that might be it. And I think that might be
Kalamazoo?
UP.
No, I think it is. Is Kalamazoo in the UP? In the oops? Oops upside your head. I said oops upside your head. It's in Houghton. Sorry, Houghton. The 925 acres of a bluff overlooking Portage Lake. I don't know what that means.
All right.
Number 4 is New York City. New York City. And then number 5, Chicago.
Wow. So 2 out of the top 5.
No,
places.
3 out of the top 5 are declining.
3 of
markets.
the top 5 places are declining markets.
Yeah.
Are 3 of the top 5 declining markets as well?
Yeah, but statistically speaking, are we talking about if they had a really good stretch of the last 10 years, there's bound to be some decline, right? I mean, just because it's a declining market doesn't mean it's not a good market.
Well, it's one of the top 5 declining markets.
It's declining participation and cooling down and such. So, but in comparison to Vegas, which is the number 1 hockey hotbed coming up, they still even in their lowest. I think Boston probably lost more players than Vegas has in general. They lost more players participating than Vegas actually has players participating.
Yeah, because of the damn NAHL.
Right?
Taking away all their players to go play on other teams.
Players to be elite. Teaching them not to play just for the bean pot. Aspire to be more. All right. So that's the Patreon pick. Hope you guys enjoyed the USA Hockey Talk and the stuff
nice
there.
pint glass.
I'm not
Thanks.
I'm not saying
I got that at the skate shop too. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm not saying because the Black Bears and a Chesapeake Hockey Week podcast started that DC is part of the hockey hotbed, but it's close.
You might as well take credit for it.
I will. Mark, how was your goaltending adventures?
It was fantastic. It felt great, aside from the fact that my hips and my thighs gave way, and I almost threw up in the second period because I was so out of shape. But yeah, it was a great experience.
How did the other people on your team think?
They seemed to be pretty impressed. especially given the fact that I told them that it was a 5-year break for me in between games. So yeah, they were pretty happy that I was able to come out, and I think I'm going to get a call again at some point. And
You better
yeah.
put together a fund for this.
Exactly.
For these fees to sub.
Yeah. Well, they did claim that they wouldn't charge goalies the sub fee, but I feel bad if they're really spending that much money to play hockey. I should pitch in something at least, like buy a beer. There's actually a bar at Prince William in the rink, so you can't bring beer into the rink. You have to.
That seems like a loophole.
Yeah, you have to buy beer at the bar if you are drinking after the game.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Hopefully the bar stays open.
I feel like more will do this now.
I hope the bar stays open longer than like some concession stands do.
Yeah, I mean it's run by the same people who like. It was funny. It's like Clerks, because like the guys that were at the front desk when I got in that I had to give my USA Hockey number to were also the same guys that were driving the Zamboni, and were also the same guys that were running the concession stand. So
Nice.
they were everywhere.
So there was like 3 people total working in the whole place.
Yeah. It was good times.
Good. Well, I'm glad you didn't die.
Me too.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
so,
you faced, what did you say, 46 shots?
46 shots, and that's for those math majors out there. That's over a shot per minute.
Yep.
Because we only play 46 minutes.
45
Well,
minutes.
45 minutes. Well, we were probably out there for an extra minute. The guy running the clock was an idiot.
Okay, well there's that.
That's because he was also trying to charge people sub fees up at the front.
It's true.
He had a
Same
six
dude.
top come in.
He was pouring beers back at the bar and also running the clock for the game.
He's like, fuck, they want the gangsta sticks.
Gangsta sticks. Those things are the best. I need to get them one night after work. So,
we have answers.
if you took a hockey skate
Yep.
and you kick it directly into somebody's chest, can
No.
you actually cut them with the hockey skate, or do you have to like scrape the skate in order to like have like a scraping motion that would like cut while the blades are like moving across the person's
You would
chest?
literally have to embed your skate into their chest cavity to cut them, because the chest protector in most chest protector in most chest protectors are so durable and are so bulky that it's going to be hard for you. Like, even if you kick a guy, you're going to get absorbed, and it might cut your jersey, it might cut like the fabric of the shoulder pads, but it's not indelibly going to give you any kind of like stabbing motion like you're going for the heart.
Yeah.
Right.
Have you ever seen Batman Begins, John?
Is that the one with the nipples?
No. That was George Clooney. I think that was that was
Is
one
that
of the other
Batman
Batmans.
and Robin?
Batman. No. Yes. Batman.
Was that the one with
Begins.
Seal?
Yes.
No. That was Batman Forever.
Kissed by a Rose?
Yeah.
That's
Batman Forever. Batman
What
Forever.
about, was it the Batman where Bane blows up Heinz Field after we
ooh.
went and watched the Winter Classic there?
A similar one, but
Is-
earlier
Is
than
the,
that.
is this the Batman in which Danny DeVito just started shooting? Just shooting.
Now you
No?
get further away, colder. You're colder.
Is this
Oh. Like the
speaking
Penguin.
of cold,
Oh,
is
Mr. Freeze!
is this the Mr.
Yep, nope,
Freeze one?
We're back. We're back to Batman Forever now.
All right, is this the one where he did the Batusi?
The Batusi. What?
Batusi.
I
the
think
TV
that's a soccer player.
It was a TV show.
Oh,
TV show with Adam West.
that's a shark repellent bat spray.
Ah, okay.
Yes, that's the movie based on the TV show.
Hey.
No, the one I'm talking about was where he designs the suit with the help of God in the Jim Carrey movies.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So God
Morgan
helps him
Freeman.
design the suit, and he says, "Can it withstand?"
Oh, I know this one. This is the one where he breaks out of prison after going through the sewer pipe, right?
Yeah.
There
No,
it
is.
What?
nah. You were that
No?
close.
Crawling
No,
through
no,
5
you're talking
miles
about
of
the one.
shit,
Which
came
Batman
out
was
clean
that
on
one?
the other
You're
side.
talking about the one with the guy from Howard the Duck. That's not what That's not the movie I'm
Right.
talking
No,
about.
Was
right.
it that
Yeah, Howard the
Batman
Duck.
Redemption?
Yes, Batman Redemption. That was my favorite mashup of all time. I need to see this now. Ah, yes.
Perfect.
Good times.
Mr. Wayne.
Notice how we didn't mention Ben Affleck once.
Nope.
I was
And
getting
rightfully
really
so.
close to making a rock reference. Hopefully I was going to bring Nicolas Cage into this.
But boy, howdy, there are a lot of people butthurt about this. If you have been living under a rock or just don't own a TV set, David Ayers went into the game after both James Reimer was hurt and then Peter Mrazek got hurt after that. 42-year-old Zamboni driver for the Toronto Marlies, who is the designated emergency backup goalie in the Toronto area. He is the, if both teams he's available to both teams. So if Toronto had two goalies go down, he'd be the guy of record for that. So he comes in, lets in the first two shots.
The second one wasn't really his fault.
No, it's just a massive.
That's just bad luck.
Yeah. And then after that, 8 consecutive saves because he was in net for the game-winning goal. He gets the win.
So I will say that letting in the 2 goals so that he was the goalie of record was possibly the smartest thing he did in the entire game.
It's goddamn genius.
Genius, right? Like, I was looking back on it and I was like, yeah, gave up two goals on the first 2 shots so that no matter win or loss, he would get the win or the loss.
The interesting part about this is the fact that not only him going in there, but then the team defense in front of him. I watched the third period of the game, and the team defense in front of him by Carolina was tremendous.
Good.
Just if there was a rebound, it got cleared immediately. They were blocking shots. It didn't help that Toronto wasn't getting a goddamn shot towards net to begin with. It's just guys passing around the horn and then getting embarrassed. I think they only had 8 shots in the third period. So
he saved them all.
Exactly. So he perfect sheet on that instance. But I mean, man, oh man, Ashevitz. The good thing was just seeing the breakdown of the Toronto Maple Leafs fans.
Oh, darn.
Darn, right? Drats. Wonder if David Ayers had sheets of the Maple Leafs when he was a kid.
Probably is also.
Yeah. And Steve Dangle, who I find just abhorrent. His breakdown was kind of hilarious to me too.
See, I didn't watch it. I can't.
I understand.
The number of people that I have muted on Twitter is actually 4 times more than the people that I follow.
The interesting part is like Steve, even if you're a Toronto Maple Leafs fan and you have some semblance of being viral, you're going to get famous. It happened with Dangle. It happened with Dart Guy.
Yeah, Dart Guy. At least he was like a badass.
But he got a fucking radio show out of it, man. What the fuck?
Good.
I know, good for him, but fuck.
He didn't even have to say anything racist to do it.
What about us? What about Raven?
Oh, yeah, right.
Like, come on.
We had a radio show. It was a damn lockout.
Yeah, the fucking
kicked us off the radio in Montreal.
The NHL fucked us, and the next thing you know, oh, yeah, no. Yeah, we know who you are. Fuck off. Anyway, and now like people, because it happened in Toronto, because no one talked about this when Scott Foster went in for the Blackhawks and stopped 6 shots.
Because he was an accountant.
He was an accountant, and it was against Winnipeg, and no one gives a shit about Winnipeg.
Right.
In the Canadian media. But because it happened in Toronto, Brian Burke calls it a travesty. Other people are calling for qualifications to happen. I wrote about it today, which I didn't promote, which I'll probably do for tomorrow.
I didn't see it
yet. Well, no, because I didn't promote it. That's probably why you didn't see it.
Okay.
It's on my website. It's just meh. Talking about how it's going to be talked about at the next GM's meeting next week about the the qualifications that someone needs to be a backup goaltender. Or an emergency backup. But I mean, look at all the free press that it got.
So I'm going to ask a dumb question at this point then.
No dumb question. It's just dumb people who ask questions. Go
the
ahead.
Dude, this guy, David Ayers.
Yeah.
He literally holds an NHL record right now.
Mm-hmm.
So are we saying that he's not qualified to be a goalie in the NHL as an emergency backup?
And that's just it. Like who gets to be a quality? Because if you're worth your salt in anything.
Because it seemed like a bunch of whining to me.
It is. It's because the national darling of English speaking Canada got just trounced by an emergency backup. But I mean, anybody worth their salt's actually out elsewhere trying to get jobs. Like, there's a ton of goaltenders in Toronto, but I don't think any of them would qualify. Like, when's the last time some of those guys who are now accountants played in an actual meaningful game? Like Brian Burke's like, well, old, guys who came from Canadian University or guys who played in the major juniors. Yeah, if they haven't made it by now, odds are they've taken up an accountant job because they know the dream is gone.
True.
So, I don't know.
He's actually probably, David Ayres is probably more qualified than Scott Foster was.
Oh, absolutely.
If we really want to throw that out there, because at least he's been part of Marlies and Maple Leafs practices and was a practice goalie, kind of the same type of route that Stretch had.
Yeah.
Like, at least he's been there, done that, been on the ice. Like, I mean, I didn't hear any stories about Scott Foster being a practice goalie or anything like that. So, I mean, he was just a dude that played, college hockey, I think, and still had gear, and ended up being the emergency backup.
Yeah, like he was part of the pool of players because he knew somebody. But yeah, he wasn't a practice goalie at all. Like, he just knew some of the Blackhawks guys from the rink that he plays at, but he never went to practice until after he played.
Like, this guy has more credentials than some of the emergency backups in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's hilarious to me that because it's Toronto, because it happened to Toronto, they get so butthurt about it.
No one's gonna fucking talk about it.
No. And then the publicity that it brought. He was on the Today Show. He was on the Tonight or the Late Show. Like, he was making the rounds.
Flew down to Raleigh.
Yeah, got a trip down to Raleigh to sound the horn and sign some stuff. He's got a T-shirt. People had jerseys of him. It's fucking fantastic. Like, this groundswell's amazing.
He's doing really well too, because the T-shirt he is. They're using the proceeds from the T-shirt to give to, I think it's a North Carolina based like kidney transplant place.
Oh, that's the other thing. He's a kidney. He's been a kidney transplant donee. He had a kidney transplant a few years back or a decade ago or whatever. So there's that, and he's also getting royalties from the jerseys as well. So there's a nice little. He makes a little money. The kidney foundations make a little money. Everyone's doing well.
This is good. This is a great story, and because it's such a good story, that means people in the NHL are going to shit all over it.
Exactly, because we can't have anything nice here.
No, because if it's not old school hockey, then nothing is.
No, if it didn't happen back in Rocket Richard's era, it can't happen now.
I mean, the only thing that would have been better is if he was smoking a pack of cigarettes before he went out on the ice.
Fuck, I would have loved it if he was just back there, just pounding cigarettes, pacing back and forth, wondering if he's going to go in.
I mean, the story is great.
Yeah, I mean, overall, like it is literally someone. I think it was the Pat McAfee show on DAZN. Said that this is a movie. This movie just wrote itself. But we saw how far that John Scott movie's gone. So
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, maybe it can be a 2 DVD box set with the John Scott movie,
or it can just be a 30 for 30, the 15-minute portion, not like the entire 30 for 30 where it's an hour and a half, but like just the 15-minute one they put on the website.
I mean, I would totally watch that if it was a 30 for 30.
Oh sure. That'd be great.
Because I want more of the story now. Because so here's part of the problem too, right? And I don't know who it was. I was watching NHL Network. It was somebody with Darren Pang. But effectively, they talked about how emergency goalies make no money if they actually play. But they come to all of these games, so they spend hours upon hours every year coming to these games, and you get to see hockey games, but you effectively waste a shitload of time in the off chance that two goalies in the same game get hurt.
Right.
And let's be dead honest in this situation. If you already have lost a goalie, what Mrazek did is fucking stupid.
Yep.
Just stay in your net and make a save. There's zero reason for you to be out at the circles where no one expects you to be.
Yeah, I think everyone kind of said that too, because if you remember back in, I want to say it was 03, when Dan Cloutier went down for the Canucks, they called up the UBC goaltender to be the emergency backup at that point, when there wasn't really many emergency backup rules. So you get the university kid. He was sitting on the bench and things like that. Christopher Levine, I think it was his name was. He made things so complicated. But Johan Hedberg was the starter, and he went out he skated out to try to do the same kind of thing and got leveled and was on the ice. And Brian Burke, after the fact, when they were doing a story about this kid, like after the fact where he is now, Brian Burke is like, that. I remember thinking, that goddamn Swede, why is he going out there like that? So, like, I mean, you're putting your team in a bad position. I understand your aggressiveness and whatever, but fuck, man. You put your team in an even worse position. The face that Rod Brendamore made when he went to net, when he saw David Ayres just walking through, and you could see on the bench, like, Brendamore's just like, I do really want somebody to, and I'm not good enough to do this. So maybe somebody that's listening to Fivers.
I want somebody to take the video of David Ayres walking down the hallway to get to the ice and put the Goldberg theme to it.
Wonderful. That's great.
That's what I want, because that's exactly what it looked like to me. Because he even said himself that he was sitting back there, like, he's done it plenty of times before. He sits back in the locker room, he's got half his pads on, and he just sits there and watches the game.
And you just see fucking JJ Dillon bang on his door.
Well, he said that the equipment manager came to him and said, hey, get your pads on, you're going out there. And he thought he was joking. But that's what I want. If there's somebody out there listening to the show that can make that happen and put it on Twitter and send it to me, you'd be amazing. But,
hey guys.
Hey.
You know,
We're talking about how you
missed your shot.
Just happened to started playing hockey again last week, right before emergency goaltenders were the rage.
Yeah. Well, it was an emergency. I'll tell you that much. I'm so glad that we were able to be the first ones to talk about this, because it's really important to me. You know, this whole emergency backup goalie thing, that we're gonna, be the first ones to cover it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just gonna break this.
Yeah. Breaking it down from a fundamental standpoint.
Right. Yeah. I mean, people listening to this podcast probably hadn't heard that there was an emergency goalie that played in an actual NHL game over the weekend.
We're nothing. We don't give anything but tepid takes here. We just give the tepidest, lukewarm of takes.
Yes, but Mark, you just missed that I asked everybody that listens to the show to put together the video of David Ayres walking down the hallway to get on the ice with Goldberg's theme music.
That's good.
That's what I want.
Yeah, that's solid.
Mark,
and that's new. No one's brought that up yet.
That's true. Mark, your take on it? Were you envious?
I did get a lot of texts from people like, yeah, Mark McIntyre for one.
Of course.
Just saying, like, it could have been you, man. That could have been you.
You're like, Mark, I don't live in fucking Toronto.
Yeah, it could have been me, Mark. You're right. I still have time, though. I still have 5 years.
Right, exactly. You're good.
42 years old, so, there's still time.
Only if you're going after the record.
Right. I mean, right, correct. But what I'm saying is I could potentially still have 5 years. I mean, this guy did it at 42, so there's no rush. It's like when people are worried about, having kids at a certain age, right? I mean, if people have done it before you, you're like, well, they did it, so I'm sure I could wait. I can wait. I have 5 years to get back in shape and, learn to play hockey at an NHL level, or at least roughly an NHL level, right?
Drive a Zamboni too.
Yeah, and I gotta move a little closer to the arena also.
Yeah.
Yes, that's one.
Well, no, you're moving closer to Carolina, so I mean, you got that going for you at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in 5 years, you might be near Raleigh at your pace.
It's true.
And Richmond's getting an ECHL team in a couple of years, so you'll be close to them too.
There we go. Oh man,
Do minor league teams have emergency backup goalies?
Yes.
they must. Yeah.
Yeah, Sean Leahy promoted a story that he wrote, I think, a year and a half ago about it.
No, I thought you were going to say Sean Leahy was an emergency backup goalie for a minor
Well,
league
he
team.
might have been. Who's to say? I don't know his
Yeah, the
life.
bar is a little low when it comes to emergency backup goalies in minor
Pretty
leagues.
much, yeah. It's just kind of like, hey, you got a pulse and play drop in. Come on, come with
They're
us.
like, you have goalie pads? Sweet.
Oh boy.
So
I was almost
is
an emergency backup goalie once for Deadeye.
Oh, wow.
Because I went to watch Mark play hockey one night, and when I showed up to the rink, Swatala saw me walk into the rink, and he goes, "Do you know where Mark is?" And I go, "What are you talking about? Why is he not here?" And he goes, "We can't find him. No one can find him." And apparently Mark had forgot he had a hockey game and took a nap and never went
sounds
to the
like
rink.
me. Sounds a lot like me.
So Swatala ended up playing in goal because he had the pads. But apparently they were like, well, I mean, if you can get Mark's pads, can you come back? I'm like, I can't play in goal. I can't do this.
That's funny.
It's kind
I
of.
never heard that story.
Yeah. That was definitely a night at Laurel.
I thought you were gonna say that he came up to you thinking you were Mark.
Well, I think Swatala was one of 4 people that could tell the difference between us.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, that was definitely. I remember texting you and asking you where you were.
I don't. I was asleep.
Obviously.